Here's 8 things you might have missed coming to New World very soon. Now, some of this is taken from an interview and some of it is just information from around the internet. Mainly my source is Danny. There will of course be links in the description below. First things first, a question was asked saying, will there be any more server merges? And Amazon said no. In fact, we may actually open some new servers. Now, I wouldn't be getting your hopes up. I don't think that is fresh, but we've seen that there have been quite a lot of queues on quite a lot of servers. So maybe opening 1 or 2 more per region, probably a good thing, and probably coming when the Brimstone Sands update comes as well. The next thing though is quite important. With the Brimstone Sands update, or at some point in the future, they speak about actually making the servers bigger and increasing the capacity. Now that makes sense now when, you know, the player bases are maybe getting spread out a little bit more. The downside to that is if we ever do get like a paid expansion and everybody's funneled in like certain corridors for progression, it could become a little bit overwhelming in terms of server capacity in that specific area, but bigger servers would definitely be welcome in New World. Details were short on this next one, but Amazon did reveal that there would be essentially a little bit of a 1-year anniversary celebration because they have some things that they want to do. As I said, they didn't really say what those things were, but you can expect little rewards and stuff like that, I'm sure. In an interview that Danny had with one of the developers, Amazon speak about how the PvP missions may be getting a bit of a overhaul at some point in the future, and how they may actually utilize faction control points, i.e. the fort, in a little bit more of a sensible way, and maybe they'll actually add more of them in a zone, and that's how you will get your faction influence up. The details again were a little bit scarce there, but that sounds like an interesting change. I don't think that's coming with Brimstone. That sounds like it might come in the future, but it's very exciting nonetheless. In the written interview that I've seen, they ask about a Conquest Reset. Now when they say Conquest Reset, I'm presuming they mean all of the zones and who they are owned by. Now I thought the answer to that would be, hey, we're not really going to do that, what's the point? However, Amazon actually say, yeah, we're actually looking at different ways to do that. Now that sort of implies to me that with the leaderboard that might come later this year, perhaps we're actually going to see resets. But then there'll be a question about how do you then claim the territories for the first time around? Is it just going to be whoever spends 100,000 gold and gets there first? That's going to be a little bit weird. You'll have people all spread around the map desperately like trying to log on when the server comes on. I'm going to claim it first. It'll be a little bit weird, but Conquest Reset, as they say, may be something that's coming to New World at some point. Now an interesting one that was in that same interview, they say that there are 26 glyphs. Now I'm not 100% sure what these are, but they basically call these like roadside encounters, and when you get to them, they'll lead you into different places. Now this is only in Brimstone Sands, but they might see you going down secret passages, they might take you just to an elite chest, and just little like intrigue like that. But having those little like special moments in the game that you can't really plan for, but when you find them you obviously want to do, that's really fascinating, and I hope we see more of that. Now you've possibly seen this one if I'm honest, but that is that there is going to be some sort of like faction expansion, and what I mean by that is each faction seems to be getting their own headquarters that is sort of like, you know, a big Covenant area or a big Marauder area or so forth. Well, the only one that I omitted there is the Syndicate, but you get the gist. Now whether or not that's just to do with the rework from levels 1 to 25, or whether or not that'll actually have like implications for end game content, we really don't know right now, but it's nice to see them actually doubling down on the faction system. A lot of people are like, hey, just get rid of it, it's not really adding much, but I was always in the camp that basically they never did anything with it, they didn't really do enough with it, and now that they're actually trying, we should start seeing some maybe intrigue in that area as well. The next thing is actually in one of Danny's videos, I can't remember exactly which one, but they talk about cinematics. Now we don't know if they mean cinematics similar to Tempest Heart, or do they mean like true cinematic CGI cinematics like you get when you first log into the game. Hopefully they mean the true cinematics, because they are done really well in terms of like YouTube and stuff like that, but in game obviously it's not a very good way of telling the story without them, and I really hope that redoing 1 to 25 now includes actual cinematics, and I hope that I can go back and do those cinematics even though I'm already level 60. Now that's actually 8 things, but the little bonus one that you've probably seen right now, but it's actually pretty key because Amazon themselves didn't speak about it, but Danny did and Baggins have and stuff like that, and that is those Rune Gems that are basically those ultimate abilities. Ultimate abilities are coming to New World, and quite frankly they look very, very intriguing, and they seem to be the main way of progressing in this new zone. It's the thing that gives you a reason to go, and it's going to be pretty exciting. I will put a link to Danny's YouTube and Twitch again. I've been plugging him, but I mean, I don't think he necessarily needs my plugging, but you know, he's actually a great guy, great content creator, so do go and check him out. I'll also put a link to the interview that I read with some of the key details in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a most beautiful, beautiful day. Goodbye.